That game was so frustrating as a Manchester United fan. So frustrating. I think it was just a horrible game and a horrible watch for everyone. But by the end there, Arsenal score a set piece and then they get a clean sheet. And it's annoying because I felt like Manchester United deserved something out of that game. I think Arsenal were defensively good. I thought their fullbacks were good today. I thought Raya was good today. I saw a lot of people slandering Ødegaard, and I'm someone that's been very critical of Ødegaard lately, but I thought that Ødegaard was good. Maybe he could be better in transition opportunities. I thought Ødegaard was all right today, but it's so frustrating. And honestly, that game absolutely rattled me because I felt that Arsenal were lucky, and that's something that I think Arsenal need. Arsenal, I spoke about them being a team that they don't win bad. Sometimes Liverpool had some bad games and they won last season. Manchester City have had bad games and won in their title winning seasons. Whereas Arsenal, they could play well and they could draw the game, and when they're not good, they can't win the game. You know, Arsenal don't get those jammy wins. So today, Arsenal got a jammy win, and I think if you're going to get a jammy win, it is the occasion like Old Trafford, because at the end of the day, yes, Arsenal are in a title race, whereas Manchester United are looking to go for sixth this season. You know, going to Old Trafford's never going to be easy for Arsenal. And I think if you'd have told Arsenal fans they'd have played really well and dominated Man United, but were unable to score or get the winner and got 1 point, or you told Arsenal fans they weren't going to be great, but they were going to go to Old Trafford and get 3 points, I think 90% of Arsenal fans would take the 3 points because they know how important it is to get 3 points at Old Trafford. It's a game where you've only won 3 of your last 18 visits at Old Trafford. So while it was a poor attacking display from Arsenal, I felt that Gyökeres was, isolated. And look, I would absolutely love to sit here and banter Gyökeres and call him a flop and all of that, of course, because I'm a Manchester United fan and he rejected us. But this is one game. He didn't get any service. I'm pretty confident he will be a good signing. So anyone that's writing Gyökeres off after one game is crazy. You know, Arsenal weren't playing to his strengths. They're going to have to adapt the way they play. They need to feed him in the channels better. He'll need time to adapt to the league to get fully fit. Like, I remember Haaland in the Community Shield, everyone was saying he's not going to be able to do it in the Premier League, just because he doesn't in the Bundesliga means he can't do it in the Premier League. And then Haaland went and broke the record. So you can't judge Gyökeres off one game. You can't even judge Madueke off one game. People say he missed the chance, but Bruno did well there. So you got to look at it, and I think, I'm all for a bit of banter. Like, De Ligt pocketed Gyökeres today. Gyökeres was poor today, but you can't say he's going to be a flop, and you can't jump to conclusions about Victor Gyökeres off one game. But yeah, Arsenal grinded out a 1-0 win. They got the 3 points, and the most important thing from Arsenal today wasn't the performance, it was the 3 points. This was, they got Leeds next. That's when they can show their performance, what they can do. Leeds will play a low block. They can show what they can do. In these games, it is just about the 3 points and getting it on opening day when Chelsea have dropped points. Liverpool, I don't think Liverpool were amazing versus Bournemouth. Liverpool played better than you, but, they got the 3 points. City were obviously incredible versus Wolves, but it's just about getting the 3 points, and that's what they did. And it's annoying because as a Manchester United fan, I'm fuming. I'm rattled because I felt that Man United deserved something out of this. I was happy with Cunha. I was happy with Mbeumo. I thought Mason Mount was excellent. I thought De Ligt was good. Even Luke Shaw was good. Ahmad was right when he came on. It's just so frustrating to just know that Arsenal weren't at their best, but they still beat us. They were at Arsenal this is probably the worst Arsenal's going to play all season, and they still beat us. It's so annoying. They had an off day. They weren't quite ready. They were adjusting. It was a rare off day for Saliba and Gabriel. And Superman, I think, started quite off, but he grew into the game and got quite well. And Declan Rice, again, wasn't at his very best. I thought Arsenal was sloppy. I thought we had opportunities on the transition, but still couldn't beat Arsenal because they are just good defensively. I thought their fullbacks were really good today. And yeah, 3 points for Arsenal at Old Trafford is what they're going to look at, and that's very good. Last season, Arsenal drew that game. They drew at Old Trafford last season, so you can say that is an improvement. I still think Arsenal need to get one more attacking signing in the door by the end of the window to help with creativity and help with that issue. Maybe Wanyeri could have come on. Maybe it wasn't a game for Wanyeri, you could say. But look, Arsenal won ugly. I think we will see more of Gyökeres, Subamende, Madueke as the season goes on. This is one game, can't jump to conclusions. Man United beat Chelsea 4-0 on the opening day like 5 years ago, and Chelsea went on to have a better season than us. Manchester United won on the opening day last season and had their worst ever season. And we played all right versus Fulham on the opening day last year. And then in Ten Hag's, when we lost on the opening day under Ten Hag ended up finishing third and winning a trophy. So you can never judge too much from the opening day. But I want to say this. I think Jurrien Timber was excellent when he came on. I think he's so defensively secure, and he's definitely your best fullback defensively, Jurrien Timber. I thought he was excellent when he came on. But I thought Ben White was good. I thought Calafiori was good. I know Mbeumo got in behind Calafiori a few times, but that probably wasn't Calafiori's fault. I felt, having Timber and Ben White is really good options. Timber is there for defensive security. Ben White's there to give you a bit more going forward. I think you having those options is good. I think Timber is just elite 1v1 defending. He was annoying me, Timber, because, Ugarte was really annoying me as a Man United fan, giving away fouls, shooting from distance, the crap passes. But Timber kept winning the ball back. And when Arsenal in those last 10 minutes are just going to waste time, when Timber's winning the ball back, it's annoying. And Arsenal's tactics rattled me today because it was, you score from a set piece, which, let's be honest, if we had Raya in goal, you wouldn't have scored that. Bayindir is atrocious. I've said it before the game that Bayindir is worse than Nana. And a couple of Man United fans were saying, no, he's not, and giving me stick for being mean on Bayindir. They ain't giving me stick now. He is worse than Nana. He had one good game versus you in the FA Cup. He saved a penalty. He's poor. And I knew that Bayindir was poor, and I knew that Arsenal were going to get him at set pieces because he conceded set pieces in his last game. I remember the Tottenham game, he conceded an awful set piece from a corner as well versus Son. It's just one of those. But I looked at it and I was just like, the way that you didn't play well those first 15 minutes. We were far the better team the first 15 minutes. We were far more up for it. You score from a set piece. The advantage is in your hands because United can't break down teams and you're good at defending. And then we just couldn't score, and the game was going on, and we just couldn't score. And we were doing everything right until we got to the box, but we just didn't have the players and the bodies in the box to score. Like, we had the creativity, but not the scorers today. And it just felt like we weren't going to score. Raya was making saves, Dorgu at the post, Saliba had a much better second half. I think it was an off day for Rice, Saliba and Gabriel, but I did think they grew better in the second half. They did defend the box well. And I think the second half was very much just defensively organised. I think Arteta, while I hated his tactics and while it annoys me and while Arsenal's tactics really annoyed me today, I think it was spot on in the second half of they weren't going to play well, so just defend and make sure you get the 3 points over the line. The first half wasn't great, but the second half. So let's talk about Ødegaard. A lot of people giving him sticks, saying he takes too many touches, he was slowing down play, and I think Arsenal need to be better on transition, but I thought Ødegaard was one of your best players today, and maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, I just felt that he looked sharper, he was covering a lot of ground, he was leading the press. I felt like he was the one that was going to cause the most issues. He got involved today, 1 possession 7 times, 5 clearances, 5 duels, 3 take-ons, 2 shots, 1 23rd final third passes. I thought he pressed well. I thought he covered a large amount of ground. I thought he looked sharper. I thought he was the standout outfield player. I think he could have been better in transition. He does slow down the game to too many touches at time, but he gave you the elements of control, and I think you needed that control. I think your man of the match, and he was given the man of the match, was David Raya. I thought he was excellent today. He made some strong saves, which kept United out in clean moments. I don't think he had to make too many worldies of a saves, but the one on Cunha, that was a really good save. The header from Mbumo was a really good save. I think a lot of the other ones, maybe United fluffed the shot or they couldn't get the power on. Like when Cunha went on that run, you could just tell he was exhausted. Saliba pushed Mbumo quite far out, hard angle to get the shot off. But David Raya was so good today. He made good saves. And the big difference between Man United and Arsenal today was the goalkeeper. Like, you can't deny that as an Arsenal fan. Every Arsenal fan that I know and have spoken to said that Man United were the better team, but they had the better goalkeeper. And that's the fact. Arsenal had the better team on paper. Man United played better today. Man United's attack was better today. But Man United have an idiot in goal. You have a top-class keeper in goal. Your keeper, when we were putting crosses in and corners in, your keeper was coming out and claiming it. Our keeper got pushed off the ball easily. Look, some will argue that's a foul because we've seen Man United score goals and they not be given, and apparently we fouled the opposition's players. I don't think it was a foul on Bayindir. I think I don't like it when VAR intervenes and gives fouls for this and gives fouls for that, because if that's a foul on Bayindir, then you have to do it for all the other occasions. I mean, I think technically it's a foul on Bayindir. We've seen them given. Like, I've seen them given a lot, but I think Bayindir has to do better there. I think, it probably was a bit of a foul, but it is one of those where I hate VAR always just intervening. But look, Arsenal, there was attacking concerns there. I think they lacked fluidity in the final third. These are my notes. I thought Gyökeres starved of service, didn't get involved. Very poor game from Gyökeres. Madueke, I just don't think it was the right environment for him to come into. Just there wasn't really any creativity or runners on the break or transitions. Maybe Wanyeri could have offered something different, but I think it wasn't really a game to bring on a Dalman or a Wanyeri or someone young, because you're 1-0 up, and I think at that point you're just thinking, get the 1-0 win, get the 3 points. You're not really thinking about going for a second. But like, from my final perspective, it was a poor attacking display. Gyökeres was pretty crap, but he didn't get service, and I think he will be a success. Superman, they grew into it, but I thought he struggled early on. He just had to get used to the physicality. But I think Arsenal grew into the game. They handled transitions better. I thought Timber was really good when he came on. I thought Calafiori was good. And Arsenal got something they never get, and that is an ugly win. And at the end of the day, if Arsenal win the league this season by 1 point, it will be the difference between, winning that game and drawing that game. Those 3 points could be massive. But let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.